It's day 26 of our 30-day challenge. Well, hello, my friend. It is our last wine, cheese, and yoga please night here in our 30-day challenge. Now, last week we did a nice little slow flow class, and if you haven't kind of figured out the Friday kind of plan, we've been building up. So this last Friday is going to be a Vinyasa style class. This might be a little bit more challenging for some of you out there, as Vinyasa tends to go a little bit faster than what I usually present on my channel. Now, as always, you can always do as much as little as you want to. It's okay to take breaks. It's okay to pause. You could just do half the class and that would be a-okay with me. I am happy and proud no matter how much you do. So, roll out your mat, let's do some Vinyasa, and I will see you afterwards for a lovely little snack. Let's go ahead and start standing at the top of our mat, feet about hip distance apart. Maybe bend the knees, maybe sway the hips, roll the shoulders, smile, and then find your lovely mountain pose. Remember, it's active. Close the eyes, cinch the waist, turn on your thud, stand taller and straighter, rooting down through the mat and lifting up high through the head. Know that today's class might be bigger than you were anticipating. Know that you can always pause. It's about loving your body, appreciating everything it can do for us. And just because today maybe you don't, do every little thing with me, that's okay. And maybe you can take it up a notch. Maybe you can go a little bit bigger than I do, and way to go you. Flutter the eyes open, take an inhale, lift your fingertips up. Maybe your gaze goes with you. Exhale, chin to chest, bend the knees, roll it down. Roll yourself slowly up. Again, big inhale, hands lift high, big stretch. Soften the hand, tuck the chin to the chest, roll it down. Bend, roll it up. One more time, big inhale all the way up, and then chin to chest, roll it down. Hang in your forward fold. Knees can be softly bent or straight. We can be still, or maybe again find some movement. Nod the head, shake it out, you got it. Hands to shins or thighs, inhale, half lift, tone that tummy. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, half lift, tone the tummy. Exhale, let it go. One more time, inhale, half lift, pause, broaden across the shoulders, lift the low belly up and in, take a full inhale here. Set the hands down, drop back to your knees. Let's keep knees together, press back into a simple child's pose, and really reach long through the fingertips. Make this active. Crawl your fingers over to the right side of your mat, press your left hand on top of your right, and reach long through the left side of your body. Crawl your hands to the other corner of the mat, right hand on top of left. Press the right hip back, lengthen through that side, and then return to center. Lift up to your hands and your knees, open your knees to about hip distance, open up across the chest, big inhale. Exhale, tip the pelvis back, walk back. Inhale, rise back up to your hands and your knees. Tip the pelvis back, rock back, and lift it on up. One more time, just waking up the body, the spine, the pelvis. This time, lift up and pause. Take those hands underneath the shoulders, broaden across the chest, lift the low belly up and in. From here, let's simply cat and cow. Big or small, fast or slow. Do what works for you. And then pause back this next time. Find your nice long spine. Take a great big inhale, tuck the toes. Exhale, find your first downward dog of class, maybe with a great big bend in your knees. Shoulders down, chest broad, head is reaching to the spot between your hands while your hips, your sitting bones are lifting up towards the sky. Inhale, rise high onto your toes. Exhale, sink the heels down. Inhale, rise high onto the toes. Exhale, sink the heels down. One more time, up, exhale, sink the heels down. Look to the top of the mat and walk your feet towards your hands, finding your forward fold. Bend the knees, slowly roll yourself up, standing tall, standing straight. Inhale, both hands lift high. This time, keep reaching your fingertips up to the sky. Maybe look up and over. Drop your right hand down and stretch over to the right, setting your right fingertips down. Inhale, both hands lift. Exhale, same thing, other side. Left hand down, right hand long. Both hands all the way up. Chin to chest, bend the knees, roll it down. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, soften. Stand tall, stand straight. Walk your feet together. Seal the inner thighs. Inhale, sit back, find a chair pose. Lift the low belly up and in. Sink the hips a little lower. Take a great big full inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. We're going to step back either to a plank or a tabletop, whatever is in your practice right now. But find that nice long spine. Find that lovely broad chest. Take a big inhale. From tabletop or our plank, we'll lower all the way down to our tummy. Untuck the toes, press the tops of the feet into the mat. Inhale, roll the shoulders up, little cobra. Exhale, soften down. Inhale, roll the shoulders up, little cobra. Exhale, soften down. Last one, little up, pause, hug the elbows in, pull the belly button in, press down into your pubic bone, your feet maybe lift up a half an inch higher, lower all the way down. We'll find our downward dog either through a tabletop, a plank pose, or even a child's pose. Find that downward dog with knees bent or straight, yogi's choice. Now from here, lift your right foot up. It can be high as mine or a little lower, it's okay. Take a big filling breath. As you exhale, step it forward. Find your first warrior one of class. Remember, warrior one means our feet are not in line with one another, but they are in line with our hips. Seal your left pinky toe down to the ground. Lift tall and straight out of your spine. Take a big inhale 3 times. Inhale, straighten the front leg. Lift your fingertips higher. Exhale, rebend the knee. Inhale, straighten, lift higher. Exhale, rebend the knee. Last one, straighten higher, pause. Try to pull your inner thighs towards one another. Take your hands down to your hips. Grow tall out of your waist. Take a big inhale and take a little hinge forward. Notice, did you let your hip kind of push back? Square the hips, lift the low belly up and in. Reach the top of the head further away. Take a big inhale. Rebend your front knee. Reach your fingertips up and step down to either a plank pose or once more a tabletop position. Big full inhale. Exhale, lower down. One round of little cobra. Find your downward facing dog. Again, through a plank, a tabletop, a child's pose, yogi's choice. Find your downward dog. Notice what feels different from the first one of class. And then inhale, lift the left leg up. Exhale, step it forward. Warrior one to our second side. Hold there for a moment. Reach those fingertips up. Draw the ribs in. Smile. You are a strong, powerful, lovely little warrior yogi. Inhale, straighten the leg. Exhale, bend the knee. Inhale, straighten the leg. Exhale, bend the knee. One more time, straighten, pause. Hands to hips. Pull your front heel towards your back. Lift the belly up and in, big inhale, and a tiny hinge forward. Nothing big, nothing crazy. But again, don't let that hip kind of fall out behind you. We want to keep them square. Release the hips, reach the fingertips up, and then step down to your tabletop or plank. Find that position. Take a big breath. Lower all the way down. Roll the shoulders, a little cobra. Return to your downward facing dog, however you want to get there. Find that lovely downward facing dog. Take 3 big breaths. Each time you inhale, think of growing longer through the spine. Each time you exhale, pull the navel in more. Another full breath in. Easy sigh out. One more time. Let it go. Look to the top of the mat. Maybe this time we take a little hop to get to the front of our mat, or just walk those feet up. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, let it go. Bend the knees, roll yourself up to standing, and then inhale, sit back in your chair pose. Low belly in, shoulders down. Take a big inhale. Bring your hands to your heart center. Shoulders down, head long, belly button in. Big inhale. Little teeny tiny twist to the right. Just look over that right shoulder. Look down at your knees. Did they wobble to the side? Hopefully they stayed in the line. Return center. Big inhale. Exhale, tiny twist to the other side. Make sure those knees, those inner thighs are pressing towards one another. Your hips are sitting back. Return center. Grow long through the fingertips. Sit a little deeper. Big inhale. Exhale, chin to chest, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Yogi's choice to your plank or tabletop. Find that pose. Take a big inhale. Lower all the way down to your tummy. One little cobra. Roll it down. Find your downward facing dog. Maybe paddle through those feet again. Maybe sway the hips. Enjoy that movement in your body. No hurry, no rush. Inhale, reach your right foot up. Heel up, toes down. No, you can always bend your supporting knee if you need to. Soften those shoulders down the back. 3 times. I want you to exhale, pull your knee in, round forward. Inhale, send it away. Exhale, pull it in, round forward. Inhale, send it away. Last one, this one, pull it in, set it down. Return to your great big glorious warrior one. Fingertips up, almost spiral your pinkies towards one another. Take a full deep inhale. Big breath out. Another big inhale, lifting up nice and high. Exhale, let it go. This time, take the hands behind you like we did last week. We'll clasp them and either leave them right here, or we'll roll the shoulders back and lift our heart, our chest, our gaze up. Maybe the hands go away. Maybe they stay close. Take a breath. Wherever you are, though, with arms bent or not, drop that head down. Soften through the back of the neck. Shake it out a little bit. Is all the weight in your front foot. Could you try and draw those inner thighs together so we can create some balance? Release the fingers. Inhale, sweep them up. Find your plank pose or your tabletop position, your choice. Full breath here. Lower all the way down. Untuck the toes, lift up. Exhale, soften down. Find your downward facing dog. You are doing beautiful no matter how much, how little of class you're doing. I am proud of you. Take your left foot high, heel up, toes down. Think of almost spiraling your inner thigh up to the sky to keep the leg parallel. Big inhale. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, drive it away. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, drive it away. Last one, knee to nose, pause, set the foot down, warrior one, once more. Find your spot, arrive here. What do you need to focus on this side? Ribs in, shoulders open, soft neck and face. Take a moment, feel that big, powerful pose. And then as you feel ready, clasp the opposite hand behind you. It might feel a little funky, that's okay. Pause here or roll the shoulders back, lift the heart and chest, and then dive forward into your humble warrior. Let that head relax. Give it a nod. Give it a shake. Release the fingertips, swim the hands high. Return to your plank or tabletop pose. Full breath in here. Exhale, soften down. Inhale, baby cobra. Exhale, find your downward facing dog, however you want to get there. Go ahead, move and groove here in your tabletop. Oh my goodness, this isn't a tabletop, your downward facing dog. You know what I'm talking about. Big deep inhale. Exhale, sigh out. Look to the top of the mat. Little steps, big step, or a tiny hop. Forward, forward fold. Seal the inner thighs together before we go anywhere and immediately sit down into your chair pose, reaching your fingertips high. Hold the belly button in. Reach those sitting bones down. Take a big inhale. Now immediately twist to the right, bring your hands to a prayer. Inhale, grow long, reach the fingertips up. Exhale, twist, bring your hands to the prayer other side. Inhale, hands up. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, lengthen, pause. Sit deeper. Almost imagine you're holding that imaginary present we have in our Pilates class. Activate those arms. Take one more breath. Forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Find your plank pose. By popular request, or at least from one person, we're going to play with a side plank if we're in the mood. Take your left hand to the middle of your mat, right underneath your nose. Swivel your heels to the left. Lift the hips. See if you can open your right hand up. Beautiful. Cinch the waist. Smile. We love side plank, right? Big inhale. Hand back. Now, if we're really in the mood, we could do one Pilates push-up between sides. Yes, take a breath. Bring your right hand to the middle. Swivel your heels to the left. Reach the left hand up. Beautiful job. Tone the tummy. Reach the fingertips up. Give your thigh a little extra squeeze. Return to your plank. Maybe one Pilates push-up. And then lower all the way down to our tummy. If we skip that whole thing, that's okay. Inhale, little cobra. Exhale, soften down. This time, open the hands wide. Tent the fingertips, lift the elbows high. Press the feet into the mat, activate the low body. Maybe lift up half an inch higher than we normally would. Exhale, see how long it takes you to bring your belly button down to the mat. Inhale, roll the shoulders, lift up. Exhale, soften down. Keep the feet touching the ground. I know it's so easy to float them up in this position, but we want to feel grounded. Last one, come all the way down. Bring your hands back underneath you. Tuck the toes. Let's see if we can all take a big inhale together. Exhale, push up to your plank. Return to your downward facing dog. Once more, right foot lifts high. This time, let's step forward to our warrior two. So I'm going to cartwheel my arms open. You can feel lovely and beautiful as you kind of butterfly your hands away. Remember, in warrior two, front heel is in line with your back arch. Now, like we've been doing, flip the palm, hand to your hip, or maybe this time we're going to keep it away, but I want you to lift your hand up so that hand can either come down to your thigh. You could also try and reach for your opposite hip to find that support, or of course, we could just keep it on our hip like we've been doing. Big, full inhale. Exhale, tone the belly, return. Another big breath. Cartwheel the arms, return to your tabletop or plank. Lower all the way down. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, down. Find your downward facing dog, however you want to get there. Lift the left foot high, big inhale. Step forward, find your warrior two to this side. Smile, it feels so good. Belly button in, fingers nice and broad. You love our lovely little warrior two. Now remember, it's not about splaying the hips open. It's lightly trying to square them and then opening up from the chest. Flip the palm. Hand comes to the hip. It can reach down towards your heel, or we can reach for our opposite hip as we do our lovely reverse warrior. Big deep inhale. Exhale, pull it back. Another big inhale. Cartwheel the arms, return to your plank pose. Full breath here. Lower all the way down to the ground. Untuck the toes. Now this time, can we all bring our hands clasped together behind our body? This might be a big one for some of us. We might already be letting our elbows kind of drop down. Press down into your feet. Press down into your pubic bone, pull your belly button up and in, and reach long through the top of the head towards the wall in front of us. Now from here, take a big inhale with keeping your hands right in place. I just want you to inhale, roll the shoulders up, pause. Lightly press your fist into the back, making sure we're not arching there. If we have range of motion, you can start to straighten the arms down the back. And then rolling those shoulders back. Maybe your hands stay connected to your tushy like mine is right now. Or you might be able to lift up and maybe lift up half an inch higher. Only so much, so we're keeping your feet and pubic bone pressing down. Take a big inhale. Exhale, let it go. Let your right cheek come to the mat. Let your elbows drape down and relax through the body. Take a full inhale. Big breath out. Return your nose to center. Clasp the hands again. Big inhale. Big breath out. Inhale, lift up, pause. Stay here, or again, straighten the arms. Maybe pause there. See if you can reach them away. Maybe lift up half an inch higher. Soften those shoulders, relax the face. I know this can be tense. Take a breath. Bring the opposite cheek to the mat. Now, I'm not actually going to do my opposite cheek because my mic would get in the way, but drop the other side. Now, this time, go ahead and take your hands by your sides. Wing your elbows in towards your body. Press down through your pubic bone. Squeeze your thud. Point your nose back to center. Slide the hands forward. Almost think of pressing down into the mat with your palms, with your feet. Pull the belly button up and in. Lengthen through the low back. Inhale. Roll the shoulders. Maybe float the hands and toes away. If we need to set the feet down so we can keep that feeling of tension out of our low back, that's always all right here. Take a big, deep inhale. Big breath out. One more inhale, lift up higher. Exhale, hands down, bend the knees. Take a little windshield wiper, side to side. No hurry, no rush. Go ahead. Press back to a child's pose, this time with knees nice and open. Crawl the fingertips away. Let that forehead touch the mat. Take a big, deep inhale. Great big breath out. Slowly bring yourself up. Tip back into your downward facing dog one more time. Lift those sitting bones a little higher. This time from here, our right foot will lift up. And a few options. We can hold right there. We can also bend our knee and open up our hip. Now, usually I'm talking about what's going on in our shoulders and keeping them straight. Right now, if it feels good to kind of twist, you go for it. Maybe it feels nice to circle the knee around. Eventually, though, straighten the leg. You're going to take a big inhale like we did earlier. Pull the knee in. This time, touch your knee to your front wrist. Point your toe towards your left hip and snake down into our pigeon pose. If we feel like we're really high here, you could put a blanket underneath your sitting bone. That's always okay. Now we can stay upright here. Belly button pulls up and in, just like in our warriors. It's that feeling at first of kind of lifting up. If you have blocks because you've got short arms like me and you can barely touch the mat, blocks are a great option here. Eventually, though, you can reach your hands a little further forward. I like to actively press away from the mat, broadening my chest, and I think about pressing my pubic bone in towards my front heel, and then I keep crawling down. Maybe I stay up right here like in a little sphinx, or maybe I really relax. Now you can use your hands as a pillow. You could just let your head come to the mat if that feels nice. You do whatever works for you, my friend. And then as you feel ready, we'll lift up. Instead of going back to our downward facing dog, lean over onto your right tushy and swim your left leg into a little seat. Find a nice easy seat. Sit tall, sit straight, belly button in. Lift out of the waist. Big inhale, hands lift high. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhale, hands up. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, hands up. Now return to your downward facing dog, however you want to get there. Find that space. Lift your little sitting bones up high. Smile, you love it. And then lift your left leg high. Again, we can just hold our three-legged dog. Sometimes that feels really nice. But often for me, because I've got really open hips, I like to bend my knee and kind of let my foot reach out behind me. Now there is a pose that often comes after this. If you're in a Vinyasa class called Wild Thing, it is pretty big. If that's something that we ever want to talk about, you leave that in the comments so I can know that that's something we can build up to, but that's a pretty big one. Return to your three-legged dog. Pull your knee forward. Touch your knee to your left wrist. Point your heel and toe towards your right hip and sink down into our pigeon pose. Now again, you can use a block or a blanket underneath your sitting bone to help support you up, and then we'll try and bring ourselves upright. I will be honest, this is one of those places where I really like to kind of sway back and forth. My hips can be really tight, and just that gentle kind of mobility in my ball and socket joint just feels so good to me. Now we can pause here. We could hold up here if this is feeling really good and we're getting an extra stretch kind of either in our glute or in the front of our right psoas. That's okay. But eventually we can drop down, we can hold here, or fully recline. Pigeon, I feel like, is kind of one of those love-hate poses. We either really, really love it, or it's not always our favorite. And if pigeon pose is just not in the cards for your body, you can lay on your back and do a figure four. Reclined figure four is a variation of pigeon, and it is very accessible, and I do that all the time, even if I do regular pigeon. It feels good. As you feel ready, push yourself up, lean over onto your left tushy, swing that leg forward. Now we're in our opposite little cross-legged seat, our easy pose. This time, press into the legs, lift up taller, pull the belly button in. Inhale, take the hands high. This time, drop your right hand down by your side. Tent the fingertips if you need to, or plant the hand down if you can reach. Grow longer out the left side, and then stretch over to the right. Did your left hip lift up? Can we keep it pressing down? Take a big full inhale here. Go ahead and round forward, just finding a seated forward fold. And roll yourself up. Same thing other side. Both hands gather up, 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 up. Left hand down, right hand reaches long, and a great big stretch. And oftentimes, let's face it, one side's a little tighter, maybe feels a little bit better. Maybe you want to be kind of extra mobile on here. I don't know why. This side's feeling like I need to take it a little deeper, I guess. Take a breath. Roll yourself forward. Push yourself up. Lie down on the mat. Close your eyes. Find a position that feels comfortable, that feels easy. Maybe your feet are planted into the ground like mine are. That feels really good on my low back right now, maybe even knocking the knees together or letting them fall apart. You could reach them long. But just find a spot that you can be comfortable, that you can be still. Bring a smile to your face. And I want you to be truly proud of yourself. Being proud that you've made it this far in the challenge. Being proud that you stuck with me through this more advanced class. Be proud of everything that your body does for you every single day. And let that feeling of pride turn into joy. Can you let that joy spill across your face, down your body? Can you let this feeling of joy continue with you for the rest of your day? Remembering that you can always find joyful movement in all of your little stretches, your little exercises, even just walking around your house. Take one final sip of air in. Easy sigh out. Blink your eyes open. Slowly roll to one side. Push yourself up. As always, give yourself a great big pat on the back, thanking yourself for doing something so good and just for you. Now grab yourself a little snack and let's get to chatting. Well, how did you enjoy the Vinyasa class? Did that feel a little bit more challenging for you? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Is that something we'd like to do more frequently? I personally really do enjoy a Vinyasa style. It kind of heats you up from within and gets you feeling nice and, worked out. And then the Shavasana at the end of a Vinyasa is usually one of my favorite things. I'm usually a little worn out, a little ready to relax. Great way to end a Friday evening, if I do say so. But sometimes we're looking for something a little bit more like our yin class, like what we started with, and that's okay too. Listening to your body and trusting what you need each day is really what I'm all about. Now, for our last wine, cheese, and yoga, please, night, I do have some tasty little crackers and cheese. And then also, I've got my delicious kombucha. I decided to go away from the regular bubbly drink and just get myself some kombucha. If you've never had kombucha, it's kind of like a tangy, mildly more healthy soda. Yes, it's nice and bubbly, but it's one of my favorite things. I don't get it very often because, there's still sugar in it and a decent amount, and I definitely don't need extra sugar. Eating on camera never gets less awkward. Now, our final topic during our 30-day challenge on our wine, cheese, and yoga please night is the power of a positive mindset. I don't know about you, but sometimes when I hear people talking about mindset and, coaches that focus on that, it comes across as a little woo-woo, maybe a little too out there for some of us. And I have definitely been in that position before. And I think of myself almost as kind of like a pragmatic yogi, if I could brand myself as something, because I think that mindset does go a long way, and it is an important thing to consider and to be aware of. And that's why things like journaling and manifestation meditations, I really do think help me personally. I can't say if they do or do not help you, but it's not just the journaling. It's not just the, affirmation cards or, saying nice things to myself, bringing myself self-love in that way. It's all of the hard work that comes afterwards. For me, the reason that a positive mindset is so powerful is it's like a push in the right direction. The more that I, kind of lift myself up internally, the more I journal lovely, quotes, or I look for them on Pinterest or Instagram, or I find things that I find inspiring, the easier it is for me to keep going down along that path. I still haven't learned to take the lipstick off before I start eating. But let's face it, I like a bold lip. I feel like some people out there maybe kind of make it seem like all you have to do is think positive thoughts and, do a manifestation meditation every day and your dreams are going to happen. And if that's all that you do, if all you do is sit there and, think the good thoughts, bring in those vibes, that's good. There's nothing wrong with that, but it's the action that comes after you bring those positive thoughts into your head. So for me, it's kind of that juncture point, that balance between both making sure that I'm staying kind of, bright and cheery in how I'm looking at life, as well as actions that keep leading me forward in those kind of positive avenues. And that's also certainly not to say that we're not allowed to have, negative feelings. You can't have the good without the bad. We all have experiences that we need to fully feel and kind of digest. But for me, the more that I can kind of even those things out, the better. I also know for myself, even if I'm in kind of, there have been times in my life where I've had a job that I didn't particularly enjoy, and I probably could have gotten really negative, really down on myself in that job. And I have a habit of not letting myself complain about a job or really start to talk about how much I dislike it until I've already put in my 2 weeks or until I already know what's going to happen next. Because I feel like if I start complaining about something 6 months before I know what's going to happen, those next 6 months are just so much more challenging than they could have been if I just tried to keep myself in a little bit better of a mood. And that's not to say that that's always going to happen. Sometimes, we just have to have our feelings. We can't control everything. We certainly can't control every little feeling that bounces into our head whatsoever. But again, these practices of, finding affirmation cards that really speak to you, or finding, inspirational quotes or different podcasts that talk about a positive mindset, or there's so many books out there that do that too. For me, having those in my kind of regular rotation of things that I listen to and watch, they just... they kind of keep me in a better place. And so it's not to say I'm definitely not one of those people that thinks you can just sit down, meditate, and all of your dreams are going to come true. That's definitely not the case. I work very hard for all of the positive things that have happened in my life, but having a positive, sunny attitude has definitely kept me going and kept, me feeling a little bit better when I do kind of take a step or two backwards. Like I said, I'm not here telling you that just, think rainbows and butterflies and all your dreams are going to come true. It's the action that comes afterwards. It's that woo-woo that kind of gets us into a high vibes sort of mindset, followed by the steps that are easier to take once we're in that better headspace. So I kind of hope that helps. I hope that, gives you kind of some frame of reference. And especially when it comes to things like our own personal self-care and self-love, I think the more that we can bring those positive moments, those positive vibes back into ourselves, the better. Self-love, self-care, I think for many of us out there is something that we're going to continuously have to work on. I know that I don't just wake up and love myself every single day. I mean, I'm pretty fabulous, but it takes work. It takes a lot of personal work and deep work to, have those really wonderful positive feelings about yourself, to really truly love yourself. And, and I'm a big fan of pointing out that just because you love your body, just because you love yourself, doesn't mean we like everything all the time. That's okay. You don't have to like everything. But, remembering that loving your body, loving yourself, is a goal that I'm hoping that we can all come to. I wish I could just have crackers and cheese for like every meal. Peach and mint. I love mint. Now, just because the challenge is wrapping up doesn't mean that we have to stop our journey together. You can, of course, keep joining me for classes here on YouTube. I will definitely be putting out more. I've also started a private Facebook group called Love Your Body Pilates with Kait. I'll put a link in the description below if you feel like checking it out. I think it's going to be more of an intimate setting, a space where we can kind of chat a little bit better. I don't know why I was kind of avoiding making a Facebook group for a while, but I'm in a lot of Facebook groups that I get so much value out of, and having those smaller communities to really kind of chat about the very specific things, ask questions. It's really interesting. Sometimes, someone might ask a question that you've been thinking in your head, and it just sparks a lovely conversation. Something we can't quite do here on YouTube, or at least not as easy. And I'm so excited to announce that I'm going to be offering a 90-day course, a 3-month sort of program. I'm calling it the Love Your Body Experience. And the goal of this is to give you the time, the tools, the permission to really, truly bring self-care and self-love into your body. It's going to be starting February 15th, and my thought on doing that is it's the day after Valentine's Day. We should all experience love, and we should certainly experience love from ourselves. So if you choose to, join me for this, know that this is a wonderful, lovely Valentine's gift that you'll be giving to yourself. Giving yourself the tools to really design a life that brings you the most positivity, that brings you closer to that self-care, that self-love that we all need. That we want to love our bodies no matter where we're at. If you're interested in learning more about this, there is a link below where you can find some more information. Feel free to reach out and ask specific questions. I am all ears, and I'm really excited about this. I think it's a wonderful, kind of next step for those of us that enjoyed this journey so far. If we want to dive a little deeper, do some of that deeper kind of self-work, that homework we need to often do to really, bring ourselves a little closer to self-care and self-love. Do you dance while you eat? Because apparently I do. Well, I hope you've enjoyed our lovely little Wine, Cheese, and Yoga Please Fridays. They've actually been one of my favorite things about the challenge. It's a little bit something different for me to do these like talking to you camera videos. I could teach all day long and not like skip a beat. The actual talking is a little bit harder for me. Anyway, I have really enjoyed these, and I hope you have too. I hope you've kind of gained some, maybe new ideas. Maybe you agree with me, maybe you don't. It's totally fine. I'm always open to discussions, and I really do love hearing from you, especially in these kind of self-care topics that the Fridays have been about. So I hope you enjoy the rest of your Friday. I hope you have a fabulous Saturday, whether you join me for a class or not, and I will see you on Sunday.